and welcome to the December edition of SCNN. I'm Jenna Steele.
And I'm Callum Monroe.
Many people wonder about the opening of Great Crossing High School.
For our first story, Christian Cook and Sam Schroeder bring us an update on this issue.
The location, we have a lot of land here around where ECS sits, and the particular location is they're asking us to build on 33 feet of fill dirt, which is basically just a big dirt pile. And Shelby County recently did that, and their school within 2 years has sank 2 inches. So, yeah, we want to make sure that we do everything right, and we have limited funds, so there's no room for error. So whatever money we spend, we have to make sure that it's the right decision.
What do you think the most ideal date for Great Crossing High School to be open?
Probably August of 2018. The current school opened in 1997. I was a member of that very first class, and it was crowded the day we walked in. So the overcrowding of the current high school is not a new problem. It's something that we've known for a long time and that we have to remedy to fix. I wish that in the first initial phase of the new high school we could have more than 700 students, but that's not in the plans of right now. So 700 students in Great Crossing High School is not going to be a whole lot. But we have to do what we can with the money that we have. The sports, it just boils down to facilities and having enough space. In order to be able to host every sports team, you have to have a practice space and practice fields and then game time space. So it's all a logistics issue of where to hold these events. Great Crossing High School will happen. It will be built. It's just a matter of where and when.
Mr. Covington became the principal of Scott County High School just this year.
Chris Back and Brianna Lovell help us get to know him.
Well, I was very excited about the opportunity, and Mr. Howard had taken a job at central office, and I was at a point in my career that I felt like I needed to try to step up and fill that role. And I felt like I was prepared for it. And it is a challenge. Every day, when we open the doors, people's lives all come here and they have different challenges. And it's our job to be a bridge for those kids. And I've been talking about being a bridge with our faculty, but help them find their way and get where they need to be. This job, the difference in this job is that you're in charge of everything, and the buck stops with me, and I can't be everywhere and do everything, and that's why it's important for us to have good people that work with us. And we have great teachers, we have other great administrators, Miss Williams, Miss Katz, Mr. Wells, just I could go down the list on and on and on. It's a team, and I'm blessed that we have good people on our team. I just really wanted to continue the curricular improvements that Mr. Howard had been working on and focused on, but I really wanted us to keep working with students and let them know how important it is to us that they know that we care about them and that we're here to help them, and that that's what we're going to focus on, helping students get where they need to be tomorrow. And that was the number one priority I wanted to keep in mind. And we want students to be college and or career ready, and that's important to us. Pick them up, put them down. Just that's something that I'd heard when I was younger, getting to where you need to be. And that's kind of part of our emphasis with students, get where you need to be in the classroom, and I'm down there, and you need to relate with students. You need to be able to. Students need to know that you're real, and I think that they do, and it's just fun. Why not have a little bit of fun? And I think when I say pick them up, put them down, they know what I mean, and I think it's a positive thing.
Need a last-minute gift idea?
Abby Behrens has a DIY craft that's ornamented for someone in your life.
If you're ever looking for a go-to activity for the holidays and you don't know what in the world could ever entertain you, you should go ahead and try Salto. Salto is practically Play-Doh that you can bake, and it stays forever, which is great for DIY ornaments and last-minute gifts. For this project, you need flour, salt, a large mixing bowl, and a measuring cup. First, you add 1 cup of salt, 1 cup of flour, and then 1/2 cup of water. After that, you have to mix with your hand until the mixture is moldable. Next, make whatever your heart desires with the dough and then throw a hook in it if you want to make it an ornament. Set your oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit and then set the timer for 40 minutes. Once the timer beeps, you're done. Just kidding. Go ahead and grab your paints, wait till it dries, and then hang it on your tree.
Mr. Miranda is a Spanish and Arts and Humanities teacher at the Scott County 9th grade school.
Jenna Steele and Mackenzie Hall give us an inside look on his life.
I'm from Puerto Rico. I was born in Humacao, which is a small town well, it's not small any longer, east of the eastern part of the island. And well, I lived most of my life in San Juan, Puerto Rico, which is the capital. Moved here in 1979. At that time, I joined the Air Force, U.S. Air Force. I took English throughout my school, school education, but there were still some challenges with the language. So when I moved here, I was still not quite fluent in English. My full name is Victor Miranda Velasquez, and Miranda is from my father's last name, and Velasquez is from my mother's last name, maiden name. So, in Puerto Rico, we use the tradition of including the mother's last name as part of your name. It's taken me the better part of 30 years or so to decide what I wanted to do when I got older or grew up. So after I finished my Air Force military career, I felt called to teach, and I've been doing it for now over 10 years.
Brianna Hamilton and Taylor Cutler inform us on the Governor's School for the Arts and the application process.
They interviewed previous students about their experiences.
GSA stands for Governor's School for the Arts. It was started around 1997 in Kentucky. It is essentially a playoff of GSP, which is the Governor's Scholars Program, but it focuses primarily on the artistic side of an individual. And so you apply for GSA. There is an application, which is due December 31st. You go through the interview process, and if you are accepted into your program, for 3 to 4 weeks over the summer, you go and actually attend your program at a college campus. There are a variety of categories that you can go to GSA for. You can do everything from theater / drama, for musical instruments. You can do traditional art. There's new media, which primarily fits what we do here in media arts with digital art. There's even vocal, so you can go and practice to be like an opera singer. So there's a wide, and even architecture and design, they throw that into GSA too. So there's a wide variety of different art forms that you can practice at the program over the summer.
The atmosphere was about as good as you could ask for, really, because you're surrounded by other people who are there for their art form. So everyone was really passionate about whatever they were there for. It was just like a happy, very artistic atmosphere, I guess.
So I think in one word, I would describe GSA as really collaborative, because you have people all over the state that are interested in the same thing as you and working towards one common goal, which is not success, but really learning from each other, which I think is a really neat aspect of it.
It was really neat because there were so many artists doing so many different things at once. So it was a really creative atmosphere, which was really cool, just to be around people who were not afraid to be themselves and were not afraid to express themselves and bring up new ideas all the time. The instructors were all amazing. They're all actually pursuing their art form as their profession, which is really cool. And they're all so highly trained.
There are some really interesting statistics for GSA. Students who participate in GSA, 98% of them go to college, 98% of them get scholarships. The average scholarship for GSA is $80,000, and there are 26 colleges and universities in the state of Kentucky that offer scholarships, and a large portion of those give you a full tuition ride. It's amazing.
I think one of the main aspects I took away from GSA is compassion for everyone and really not gaining for yourself through your art form, but giving to other people.
I was terrified about it, but I'm so glad that I went through and auditioned. And definitely I would encourage anyone who is scared about it to just go ahead and try it because, I mean, you don't lose anything by trying.
The biggest lesson I took away from GSA would be to not be afraid to go after some ideas that aren't necessarily typical or have been done before, because those are the ideas that actually can really get you somewhere with whatever art form you're going.
We'd like to congratulate Kentucky's own Jordan Smith for being the next voice.
This concludes the December edition of SCNN. I'm Jenna Steele.
And I'm Callum Monroe.
Signing you off.
We'd like to thank our platinum sponsor, Georgetown News Graphic, as well as all of our other sponsors. Look for us at useducationtv.com for this month's bonus.
The Georgetown News Graphic, covering the news that's important to you. Find us online at news-graphic.com or at your local newsstand.